Is Hot Girl Summer still happening this year?
How many carbs are in a White Claw?
If I squat every day, will I get a dump truck?
I'm Shay.
I'm Leah.
We are Two-Tone Training.
You're listening to Don't Tone Alone.
What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. I'm Shay.
I'm Leah.
And you guys are listening back to
Don't Tone Alone.
By the time we're recording this, you have not listened to the first episode, but I'm going to say the second episode is brought back by popular demand.
I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to put that out there.
Assume the best.
Manifest it, if you will.
Yeah, putting that energy out. So hope when it comes back. Today, we are going to be talking about why am I not seeing results? Leah, I think you can agree that this is a DM that we get pretty often. It comes through in the DMs. People slide into our DMs. And then
we get excited.
We
get excited. We're like, is someone flirting with us?
They
like,
trying to ask me out.
And it's like, no. Why am I not seeing results? Like, okay. Fair. No, I think it's easy to, especially living in a world that we do now where everything is done with a click of a button, a snap of a finger.
That instant gratification
that so many people are just getting annoyed, frustrated that, you know what, good things take time. I'm here to say it. I'm saying it right away. Good things take time. Anything worth having is going to take time.
Yeah, I think I even saw a few influencers post the other day. If you guys don't follow them already, KK Fit. And I think people look at their page. They're one of our favorite influencers to follow.
Sisters.
And yeah, people are like, oh, their bodies are crazy. Like they must deprive themselves or whatever it is. And she gets KK Fit, both of them kind of in the caption describe how it's taken them 8 years to get that body. Like it did not happen overnight. It did not happen over a few weeks. It took 8 years to kind of build up to where they are now.
Yeah, you kind of bring up a good point too, is that people are so quick to be like, oh, they must be like just miserable or naturally that way, or just like so quick to throw shade. It's like, hey, guess what? They put in 8 years of really hard work, dedication, and that's just the truth. Like, that's a hard truth that people don't want to accept. Like, no, they actually worked for it.
Yeah, no, and going back to the good things take time, and that hustle is going to pay off. So it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to not kind of stick through that grind, but we promise you it is worth it. But when talking about the grind, you have to, there's no secret. There's really no one secret. There's no one size fits all. But Leah, what do you think the biggest, I guess, tip for people who are feeling discouraged?
Yeah, no, I think what people need to understand is that the main thing is consistency. That's it. That's where it comes. The secret to success is one of my favorite quotes, is found in your daily routine. And it's so true. The things you do day in, day out, those are what is either going to help or hurt your fitness journey. And it's not going to be perfect. That's why it's called a journey, right? There's going to be ebbs and flows, but those consistent things that you are doing every day are going to, help you or hurt you.
I agree. I think you, like you said it best, it goes back to your daily routine. What are those things, or what are the things that you're incorporating into your day, your morning, your night, whatever it is, especially taking a look at your nutrition, your meals. And I think the biggest thing that's worked for us is planning, like setting ourselves up for success. So planning out some of those decisions that you might have to make on the fly, taking out that guesswork. So you don't have to trust yourself to make hard decisions when those decisions are already made for you, especially when it comes to scheduling your workouts or prepping your meals.
Right, exactly. I think there's some statistic out there and I don't know it, so I'm not even going to try to attempt. But like, we make hundreds of decisions every day. Like, whether you, like this morning, what kind of coffee did we order at Starbucks? Because we do that all the time. Sure. What are we going to wear? What jewelry? But like, you make so many decisions that when you prep and you lay your clothes out, you pre-order on your mobile app, like just silly little things that maybe seem, seem like going too far, going the extra mile at the time. Those really do pay off because it takes out that guesswork that, am I going to make the right decision? Am I going to do the right thing? It's like, yes, you are, because it's right there in front of your face.
Right. And I think we've all been there when it's like middle of the day, you're in a rush and you're like, I'm starving. Like, I'm just going to eat the first thing that comes like that falls into my lap, or like
Right.
I'm just starving, like I'm whatever. What do I have easy access to? So if you plan your meals ahead of time, you're kind of like, all right, like I don't really have a choice here. Like I already have this perfect like chicken meal or whatever it is, this sandwich that's already set up for me, and now I can kind of almost guarantee that healthy choice today.
Right, exactly. When in doubt, go with something that's easy. And that's with everything too. I think another thing that we try to tell people is like, do what's easy, what's convenient. Like if you're going to the gym or going to a gym that's 30 minutes away, or
Right, like how maintainable is that?
right, how going to a class that's just doesn't make any sense, or you don't really like that much, like you're not going to do it. At the end of the day, set yourself up for something that's easy, something that's convenient enough that you will do it.
Talking about convenience, there are just so many options. Let's get into workouts, but we'll talk about nutrition a little bit later. But there are so many options when it comes to different workouts to try. I feel like I scroll through Instagram, and I mean, including ourselves, we like to try out a bunch of different things, but finding what works for you, something you enjoy, whether it is like that easy commute, like maybe that's enough to sell you on the workout. But for a lot of us, that isn't enough. It has to be something that you can kind of look forward to and not really dread as part of your daily routine. So let's talk about some of the things that we've tried. I feel like we've tried just about it all.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know us that well, Shay is like was/still is the group fitness like bunny. Like the girl is like ClassPass #1 customer. She lived in New York City for 8 years, so she was always talking about, oh, I'm going to this class, that class. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to the gym and I'm gonna lift some weights. So like you have fun with that.
Right. No, that's definitely like how I got, I think, into fitness. Like I started gaining a lot of weight in college and couldn't really figure out what was going wrong, or in the gym definitely was not part of my routine. I danced and I was like somewhat active, but started putting on that weight after college, and started my 9 to 5 job. And I think I was looking for that outlet at the end of the day. So I joined ClassPass. And for those of you who don't know what ClassPass is, it's pretty much
rude.
First of all, rude. Second of all, definitely check it out. But it's basically, it was access to all these different fitness studios, these boutique fitness studios in New York City. They have it in a few other major cities as well, but you would pay a certain amount for a certain amount of credits, and you could put them towards different classes. So I would always sign up for just everything and anything. Like I had a few favorites, of course, but shout out Killer Bodies. And then I would check out some spin studios and just really found some instructors that I loved. And that would be the highlight of my day.
Yeah. So every time I would go to visit Shay in New York, she would be like, okay, I'm taking you to a class. And, you know, some were my jam. Like we went to, you know, a lot of gyms and classes that were more like strength and cardio and running, and then you took me to like a Zumba type class, and I was like, girl,
miss me on that.
Miss me on that. No one wants to see that. I don't want to see this.
I wanted to see it. Dude, the coordination there.
Yes, evil. Now
You're
that you're
thanking me for it now because of those TikToks, your TikTok routines.
Oh my gosh, that's for another episode. How Shay is the TikTok director and I'm just at her mercy. Like, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Swing, snap, clap.
Oh my gosh. But no, it's so true. And so for me, I mean, I grew up as an athlete. I played 2 sports in college. So strength and conditioning has always been a part of my life. I think once I graduated, I was kind of trying to figure out what to throw myself into. Obviously, I was familiar with a lot of aspects of fitness, but I had so much to learn. I tried the spin, I tried the Zumba, I tried the group fitness classes. And for
the spin,
the spin, the cycle.
You guys know the one.
Yeah, yes, that's the one. Correct. But for me, I don't know. I love going to the gym. I love teaching class. I love people taking our classes, our boot camps. But if I'm going to work out on my own, I've just always been just me and the barbell.
But you kind of bring up a good point in the sense of like that's been your jam, the strength training, and the group fitness wasn't as much. But I think the more you do it, sometimes you have to like give it some time.
Right.
And I think we are all quick to just kind of write off the things that we're not good at. And for me at first, it definitely was that strength training stuff. Like I remember even the beginning of last year, like we were going to the gym together and I was like, I feel like I'm going to get hurt. Like these deadlifts, like they're hard, like my knees hurt, like I can't grip the bar. I don't know, it was a hot mess, but now it's definitely one of my outlets. Like I love going to the gym together when we can, or putting in my headphones, tuning out the world, and just like getting after it and feeling so strong and so powerful when I do some of those movements.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good point of giving things a fair shot, and we're just so quick to dismiss something like, oh, this feels uncomfortable, this doesn't feel right, and it's not fair. Like, it's not fair to you. You need to give it time. And even if it does feel uncomfortable at first, that doesn't mean a few weeks, a few months from now, you're not going to be like, you know what, it's for me. And then if a few weeks, few months from now, you don't feel like that, that's perfectly fine. Okay, that's not your thing. Move on.
Right. No, I think that's a great point. And I even remember, I don't know, it just brings me back to when I started to run. Like I remember when I was really starting to get in shape, everyone kind of goes to running as the first thing. We're like, I'm just going to run
for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah, until I drop 50 pounds. And like, I'm telling you right now, that's not the way to do it.
No,
but,
not it.
Incorporating some cardio, of course. But I remember you're like running to the end of the block and just being like winded, being gassed. And I'm like, I hate this. Like, how do people do this? But you start by running that block, you then add on another block, and whatever it is, just continuing to progress and go easy on yourself. Like allow yourself that time to build up that strength, to build up that endurance. And going back to the KK Fit thing, it does not happen overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Right, exactly. And I think it's kind of funny when we talk to people, we're like, come to our boot camp, come to our class, like try it out. And they're like, I need to get in shape for your class first. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like the beautiful thing about our class and so many things out there is you customize it to you.
Right.
You make it yours. And if we're doing something and we try to throw out as many modifications as possible, but if you need to modify it, you need to modify it. And that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong, you're doing it poorly. That just means that's what your body's capable of right now. And again, few weeks, few months from now, maybe it's going to be capable of more. Hopefully, that's the goal.
Right, yeah, you're going to start taking less and less modifications, maybe even throwing in some progressions in there.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see, and I think that's where people really start to like fall in love with the journey and start to really make it part of their everyday routine is when you start seeing those successes. But it's consistency, it's sticking with it. I'm going to throw a little quote out at you guys. It's 4 weeks you start to see a change in your body. 8 weeks, your friends and family start to see it. And 12 weeks for the rest of the world to see it. So just giving you guys some benchmarks there and stick with it.
Yeah, and get comfortable being uncomfortable. I think you and I both get like sort of adrenaline rushes when we're outside of our comfort zone. Of course, everyone loves feeling comfortable. They love going to the gym, doing exactly what they did the day before, the week before. Oh, this is familiar. This is fine. But you're not going to grow there. You're not going to grow just doing what you've done.
Right. And that goes like, why am I not seeing results? It's because you're doing the same thing you've always done. And when it comes to your training, when it comes to strength training, especially like continuing to add on weight, progressive overload is something that we really like emphasize is continuing to add on weight, build up reps, adding in time,
decreasing time in recovery. You know, there's so many different ways that you can do it. And it's just like, again, it's just allowing yourself to fail. Maybe going for a rep, again, everything safely, but going for a rep and maybe not getting it. Like, that's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay. People get so embarrassed, and I've been there. Like, oh my God, like, I really thought I could do this, and I couldn't. And that's okay. Giving yourself that grace, like you said, just being a little easier on yourself. It's okay not to be perfect.
Right. And I mean, I think I'm saying this, and both of us are saying this from points of view that we've been there before. Like, I've been at that plateau for years. Like, I remember I'd go to the gym and do the same thing and get really frustrated. So it's exciting to kind of find some of those things that have worked for us. And we're, again, not saying it's a one size fits all, but we're telling you guys some of the things that we found have worked for us and we've seen success from.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So I give you the ClassPass app. I say, open it up. I say, pick a class, any class. What are you doing?
All right. Well, again, I shouted out Killer Body. So if you guys don't follow Melly Mel on Instagram, you guys have to go follow her. She does strength training. She does some dance classes. She just brings like such like an energetic vibe to each and every workout you do with her that she's the one who just like really got me excited about being an instructor. And it was one of those workouts that I was like, I almost forgot I was working out. I almost forgot that I was in pain from those burpees because I was so concerned with hitting the beat. done Tone House a few times, or like even some of the boxing workouts when they like put on some killer jams. It's such a vibe with like the lights, the music, and I think that's what we kind of tried to incorporate into our boot camp, is bringing in lights and energy and taking inspiration from some of the classes and the formats that we really loved.
Exactly. And I think the cool thing about everything that's happening in the world right now, again, having to take away some positives, is that the virtual fitness game is amazing. And if on fleek. So if you're at the point where you're not super comfortable going in person, there's so many virtual classes you can try and figure out what your jam is.
Right. And even if it's not group fitness, there are different ways to stay active, stay healthy. They even have like apps now for like personal training or just like audio running that you can kind of just put in, plug into your headphones and run outside. And
it's the HIIT classes, it's the strength, the fast pace, the quick recoveries, I want to leave a class. I mean, we all know the truth is you go to the gym by yourself. Yes, you push yourself. But I think the beauty of group fitness that made me fall in love with it was there's other people around. I'm like, okay, all right, I need to go beast mode here. Like, I'm such a competitive person by nature that just being surrounded by others, I'm like, okay, like, let's go.
Game on, especially those running classes. I teach at Equinox as well. So you are always like kind of like amping up the speed and the treadmill next to you. I'm like, all right, it's go time. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's get after it. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to hold on the Zumba for now and maybe ever.
Again, yeah, it's one of those things you've got to stick with, learn to love. Once you get that 1-2 step in, I promise you it's a game changer.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, moving right along to kind of what works for you and trying new things out. I think meals, nutrition is a big part of obviously people's fitness journey. I think we've tried so many different things. There's so much information out there, first of all, that it's kind of like you open up Google and you're like, wait, what am I supposed to be eating?
It is so overwhelming. And I remember just like at the start of when I was like, okay, like I need to be a little bit more aware of, or a little more conscious of like what's going into my body. But people are like, oh, well, just read the labels. And I'm like turning things over and I'm like,
yeah, but what do the labels mean?
What does this mean? Like, right. I have no idea what I'm looking for. I'm confused. I'm frustrated. And this says it's healthy and, and it's clearly not working. So like, what do I do?
Yeah, no, it's so overwhelming. And I think a lot of people run into that issue of like, what is the truth? What's not the truth? And first of all, I want to say that everyone's different. So what works for me may not work for you. And what I've seen a lot of kind of fitness influencers do lately, which I love, is they're like, people are always asking about macros. So like the breakdown of like how many carbs do you eat? How much fats per day and all that? How many calories are you eating? And they're like, I'm actually not telling you that because what I'm eating is so different than maybe what you need to eat to be fit and healthy.
Right. And again, fit and healthy is different for every single person, or it feels different for every single person. So depending on your goals is obviously going to influence your macros as well and influence what you should be eating, whether it's building strength or losing fat or whatever it is.
Exactly. So I think we've tried intermittent fasting. We've been there.
All right. Thoughts? I think that's a question too that we get a decent amount.
Yeah.
Is kind of like, what diets have you tried and have they worked and do you recommend? And is that kind of like the answer to all? And that's one of the big diets that I think has been trending, or at least last year for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Trendy diet.
Still hashtag trending. I think it again depends on what works for you. So if you're someone that like really enjoys big meals, like volume, then maybe intermittent fasting is your thing. So you don't eat till, I don't know, usually it's at least like I think 16-hour fasting window. I'm not a nutritionist, just putting that out there. But then you have this like 8-hour window where you're eating all your meals, all your calories. So if you're someone that loves like the big meals, like then that's it. That's it for you.
And I have to say, I tried it, and I think I was starting to see like some results. It definitely like I think prevented some of my like snacking or late night snacking, which I felt was helpful. Just having those like strict guidelines, but I don't know, like I'm hungry. I like to snack. And I think some of the smaller meals is what sets me personally up for success throughout the day.
Right.
And being able to kind of work some meals around my training. And especially now that I train in the morning and sometimes teach at night, like
Right.
the intermittent fasting windows just does not necessarily
Yeah.
work with my lifestyle.
But you tried it and you figured it out, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. And I don't know, I'm guilty of trying some other diets too without even doing much research. So,
Right.
I mean,
Like the no carb or very low carb.
right. I think I did no carb. I was like, oh, carbs are bad. Not my
Right.
friends. Like I cut all carbs. And that's another place where I really saw myself like plateauing is like I was taking all these classes. I was coming home and I was having just like a
Yeah.
spinach salad. And I was like, all right, like that's what I should be eating. Like that's what people say is healthy.
Right.
And then I just like wasn't properly fueling my body. Like I would wake
No.
up exhausted. It was like hard to kind of get through the day. And I was like, I'm just like not eating enough. I'm not fueling my body.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times I'll go out again with some friends, and people are gonna be like, "Who are these said friends that you keep talking
Please
about?"
name drop.
No, and they're like, "Oh, Leah, like, what do I eat? I'm trying to be healthy. Like, should I just like get the salad?" And I'm like, "No, don't get the salad. Not that like if you order a salad, you're like wrong, but I'm like,
Love
get
me a good salad.
love me a good salad sometimes. Don't get me wrong, but it's I urge them to order something that's actually gonna fill them up. A lot of times a salad just doesn't do it, doesn't fill you up, and then you're hungry in an hour and you're like, all right, I'm gonna have a burger now.
Right.
Bring on the burger.
Yeah, that salad was like a nice app.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, no, have good carbs, rice, vegetables, sweet potatoes, chicken. Like so many restaurants now are catching on that people enjoy eating healthy, and healthy can be good and tasty. So there are options. Sometimes you have to be that person to be like, can I sub this for whatever? But be that person.
We're never afraid to be those people.
Never.
But speaking of healthy meals, what are some of your favorite meals as far as, all right, we'll talk about going out after, but like
Yeah.
when it comes to prepping for the week, let's talk breakfast first.
Oh, my favorite topic. Guys,
Same girl, same.
Shay makes an
A
oatmeal
Shay special.
The Shay oatmeal special. It like I've been eating this probably at least 5 times a week for the past, I don't know, we've been living together since pretty much March. And I'm not sick of it. I still go to bed excited. I tuck myself in under my covers.
oatmeal.
And I'm like, I
Put out an IGTV at one point, but it is like protein oatmeal. It
Yeah.
has protein powder in there. It has oats in there, banana. I'm getting some shade for microwaving my bananas. You
Dude,
know who
take
you
it.
are, but
Yeah, you
I'm
know who you
telling you, they are on point. Like
On
it just gives
point.
it that added texture in there. What else do we throw in there? Oh, the secret ingredient, really, I'm saying it's love, but it's really nuts and more. That's the truth. So the oatmeal is definitely one of our favorites. I think another one, what did we have last week? It's kind of funny. Every week we kind of try to change it
Right.
up, or else it's so easy to just get bored of it. And we had these like bagel thins with turkey bacon and egg whites.
yeah.
And no, it's good. And you can keep it interesting. You can keep it exciting and still be healthy.
Right, exactly. And some people, like, I talk about oatmeal for breakfast, and they're like, oh my God, I could never eat that much in the morning. I just need like a quick little light smoothie or something. And again, like, great. If that's what works for you, then you'll have like a bigger meal for lunch. Like, plan it around your workouts, plan it for what works for you. There is no, like, I don't want anyone like taking notes here. Like, okay, oatmeal and peanut butter and boom, boom, here we go, fit.
They said plenty of nuts and more and love and check.
Customize it to you.
No, but figuring out what you like, what you don't like,
Yeah.
stocking up on some of those things. Leah's really good about prepping her oatmeal too. Like she's been doing, especially with summer, like the
Overnight
overnight oats.
oats.
So prepping them the night before so she can kind of grab and go. And as soon as she finishes her workout, she can kind of dig into those.
Exactly. And then, okay, let's move right on to lunch. Shay, what is your favorite lunchtime meal? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
All right, favorite lunchtime meal. And I'm just going to come out and say that we did do a few months of like the chicken and rice. And
Oh, yeah.
the other week I was like, yeah, like I had a breakdown. I was like, I can't do it anymore.
You
Like,
tried to serve me dry chicken for like the 5th day in a row, and I was like, honestly, I'm breaking over here.
yeah, like I just can't go on. I can't go on like this. Something's got to give, and it's gonna be the dry chicken.
But you know what? I think the mistake we made is, so here's another pro tip. If you are meal prepping, I would say only prep like 2, maybe 3 meals of the same thing, and then you gotta switch it up, because honey, day 5's gonna come around of that same chicken and rice, and it's not gonna be as cute as it was on Monday.
Truth.
So okay, give me the chicken and rice and veggies, and we are big sauce girls too, so we look for
so
like
saucy.
low sodium sauces that are like pretty low in calories too per tablespoon, and we lather it up on that chicken and rice because you need a little flavor in there.
True. One of my favorite meals that we meal prep, I think, I don't know, I like chicken or seafood. Like I'm always, I think, gonna favor some of like the seafood stuff. So I love salmon, chickpea salad with like some cucumbers in there, some tomatoes, a little feta on top, and then like a drizzle of like balsamic, guys.
Guys, Shay speaks with her hands, so you should see over
Yeah.
here when she did the drizzle, like the flick of the wrist. I'm like, okay, I can picture it. I can picture this drizzle, and it's a good one.
Nothing is like the passion that I have when I talk about food, like dipping my chicken tenders or drizzling my salmon.
I'm like, Shay, you know you don't have it in your hands, right? Like, you know you're just talking about it.
Feel it.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, so that's one of my favorites.
Okay, I'm gonna do my own horn right here. We did like a turkey bacon BLT.
Whoa.
I was proud of that.
Yeah, no, that was so good. I think you even left me a love note the next day. You were like, I like came home late on a Sunday night, and she was like, "Babe."
Okay, whoa.
Okay, didn't say babe, but
It was like, sis.
there are BLTs in the fridge for this week. I don't even know what else it said, but like XOXO, have a great day. And I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah, don't sleep on like the notes.
I'm like, Leah, never leave me.
I mean, we're sisters, so not gonna happen. No, but don't sleep on the notes. Texts are great, but leave someone a note.
It hits so different.
It hits so different.
Right. And we are the planners of all planners.
Oh.
But you can't plan for everything. You
Right.
can't plan for everything. And planning as much as you can, I think, is great. But then obviously leaving some gaps, and on the weekends, that's kind of where our gap comes into play.
Right.
Is like we have some workouts planned and maybe an idea of some of our meals, but for the most part, we're kind of like, all right, the weekend is where we eat out or go to some fun meals. And I think that keeps the week spicy.
No, I think that's a good point, is that it's a nice mental and physical break when you get to the weekend and you're like, you know what, I don't have to just plan out every detail of my life. But I do have to say, I'm gonna be that person to say that this is where a lot of people do totally fall off on the weekends. The weekend is potentially, depends on how you look at it, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Right.
So a lot of people like Friday around like 3 o'clock, they're like, okay,
Checked out.
Oh, I'm out. Signing off, or I'm gonna be signed on, but actually not be on my computer, whatever. And I think that people don't realize like that's it. So, okay, say you eat 3 meals a day, count dinner on Friday, like that's 7 meals that you have the potential to make poor choices. That's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot. And I think people are like, if I'm so perfect Monday through Friday at noon, that I'm good and I can eat whatever the heck I want on the weekends. And I think that's where that balance comes in. And that's like the whole thing behind this podcast. And what we preach is like, yes, have those fun meals, have those fun drinks, but also keep in mind your goals.
Right. No, I think that's such a good point, is that it is so easy. There are 7 meals to make poor choices. So hold yourself a little bit of accountable, like keep those goals in mind, but also have fun, enjoy your friends, enjoy good food, enjoy good drinks.
And I think you're going to feel a lot better come Monday morning. Like a lot of people, if they go totally off the rails the whole weekend, they wake up Monday and they're like, oh my God, I feel like I have to like start from ground zero. Like here I go again. And it's like, if you are just a little bit better and mix in in some healthier meals throughout the weekends, you're not going to wake up Monday feeling like that. You're going to be like, all right, like I ate some good food. I ate some healthy food. I'm good.
Right. Don't let some of those poor choices feed into your Sunday scaries.
No.
Like it shouldn't be part of that. And again, I think deciding what to splurge on too is sometimes that with 7 meals and you're going out to all these things. It's like, okay, well, what are the things that I really, really like am craving or really, really want? And so sometimes I'm like, all right, miss me on the bread basket. Like I don't need that, but like definitely bring out the dessert menu.
Absolutely. With the chocolate drizzle.
Yeah, like don't forget about the drizzle on top.
Oh my goodness.
For sure. But I think as we wrap up this podcast, just reminding you guys that knowing it is a journey. Like it is a journey. It sometimes can feel like a grind, but stay consistent and your hard work is not going to go unnoticed. It is going to pay off. Stay patient with it. Don't be afraid to progress. Like we talk about progressive overload. We talk about adding on weight, adding on time to your workout, and finding something that you just truly enjoy that gets you excited to wake up, to work out with friends.
Exactly. Yeah. And don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to look a little silly, feel a little silly. That's all part of the journey. That's all part of getting better. And if we just stay inside our little boxes and do what we've always been doing, then we're never going to get better.
And I think also remembering to like love yourself no matter what stage you are at. And everyone's always going to have critiques and I don't think there are many people out there that feel like they're 100% perfect. And I can say this, like even when I was 50 pounds, like heavier, like I definitely had so many critiques in my body for sure. But after losing that weight, like there are still things that I'm like, I know I can work on this, or like I feel this way, even wearing this size or whatever it is. Like I just know that there is room for progress, but loving where I'm at right now.
I could not have said it better myself. That is beautiful and so true.
Let's end this with a little game.
Okay, let's do it.
So I'm gonna give us 2 words, and you pick kind of like your preference. So I'll say 1, 2, 3. I'll count us down 3, 2, 1, and you say your preference out of the 2 options.
Okay.
So 1, in-person class or virtual. 3, 2, 1.
In person.
Oh,
twins.
Okay. I mean, virtual is awesome, but I have to say almost like the mecca of it all, like combining the two, I think has been our sweet spot.
Yeah.
Especially for two-toned. I think it's kind of cool to be able to like stream, but also have that energy of being in person.
Right.
Because sometimes it is hard to translate over the phone, but with great apps, even like the Salute app that we're on, like getting to see people's faces, I think the closer to the real thing is definitely always the best.
I'm with you, girl.
All right. Strength training or steady state cardio? 3, 2, 1.
Strength training.
Twins.
No question there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we love a good sweat sesh, a gym sesh, lifting heavy.
Find us at the barbells.
True that. See you at the bar. All right. Ready? Chicken or fish? 3, 2, 1.
Chicken.
Fish. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God, even with the dried chicken last week, I thought you'd be scarred.
No, I if it's cooked right, if it's marinated right, it's chicken for me.
All right. All right. Treadmill or bike? 3, 2, 1.
Treadmill.
Yeah, Leah and I love me a spin class every once in a while, but I don't know. Like, I don't think you'll ever catch me teaching spin. I just cannot catch that beat. Like, my legs do not work that way.
Honey, no, I ain't catching that beat.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I try, and they're like, and down, up. I'm like, wait.
No, see, like, I like that choreography, but yeah, something about the pedaling on the beat.
No, it's fun. It's fun but yeah, we sprinkle it in every once in a while. I'll give it a whirl, but yeah, it's a treadmill for me.
All right. What about lower body or upper body day? 3, 2, 1. Lower body. Oh,
this is where we differ.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Oh, did you?
I did. But I think feeding into our strengths, like those do tend to be the things you prefer. So
I'll say this: upper body day. But when I finish lower body day, and I'm like, I worked my butt off, and maybe I didn't lift as heavy as Shay did, but I lifted as heavy as I could. I feel good.
There were 2 options, and so I had to feel like you didn't have room for that.
That's rude.
No, but I hear you. All right. Would you rather forget your headphones to the gym or forget your pre-workout? 3, 2, 1.
Pre-workout. Dude,
Yeah.
if I'm working out in silence,
Nothing worse.
just put me in a library. Just put me in a library. Give me a book.
Yeah, like I just can't get in the tone zone that way.
No.
There needs to be a good bop in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah. Pre-workout I can live without, but need
All
more
right.
music.
We got 2 more. So morning workouts or night workouts? 3, 2, 1.
Morning.
Yep. Both of us are just definitely morning people over night people. It's sometimes hard to get that same energy from us after like 8:30 p.m.
Right.
Which is kind of why our latest class goes until 8:30 because by that time we're ready for bed.
Yeah, no. I mean, a lot of people do prefer to like get their day done and get their work done and then like work out at night, but then I feel like more people are like, okay, I want to wake up in the morning, check it off my list and not worry about it.
True dat. All right. Run a marathon or compete in a bodybuilding competition.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Run a marathon.
Wow, I wasn't expecting you to say that.
That's so funny. Our dad has ran a few marathons and that's always been on my list. I want to run the Boston Marathon, even though I'm not a runner, but that's like almost why I'm like, you know what? It's going to be challenging, but we can do it.
Oh, if I run a marathon, you better believe I'm getting like 26.2 like tattooed on my face. Like if I complete that. But I've
Rightfully so.
I've done a few halves and I don't know. After doing a half, I'm like, oh my God, the thought of like running back.
Then we know people that run like ultra marathons and I'm like, I thought I liked you. No, I'm kidding.
Red
I'm
flag,
like,
red
wow.
flag.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wow, that is next level dedication.
Gosh. All right. Well, I love today's game. If you guys have any suggestions for next week, let us know. Also on topics. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy your weekends, talking about setting yourself up for success for the weekend, for the week ahead. Go crush it out there, toners.
You can tone at home. You can tone from your phone. But all we ask is that you don't tone alone. Bye, guys.
Bye.